As part of my Commodore computer man cave build, I needed to build a Commodore 64 games wall. I found a local shop that was closing down and selling all of its shop fittings. I went to buy their slat wall. The shop owner asked me why would I want this. I told her that I was building a Commodore 64 games wall and you probably don't know what a Commodore 64 is, and then she interrupted and said, "Yeah, I do. We have one at the back that we've thrown out for rubbish." I asked if I could salvage it and went out the back of the shop, and there it was. This is what I found. It's not a Commodore 64. Rather, what I found was a Sega SC-3000 home computer. Now that I have it at home, I thought I would share my find with you. I must admit, before today, I didn't even know Sega made a home computer. I knew they made the Master System, the Mega Drive, the Saturn, the Dreamcast. I didn't know they made a home computer. Did you? Let me know in the comments below. So I've been on the interweb and googled the SC-3000. And this video is all about what I found out today about this home computer. The Sega SC-3000 was the first and only home computer Sega ever made. It was released in 1983, the same time as the SG-1000 home console version of the SC-3000. SG-1000 was widely distributed, but the SC-3000 home computer was only sold in Japan, Australia, New Zealand, France, Italy and Finland. It was distributed in New Zealand by Grandstand Leisure Limited and sold in Woolworths supermarkets. It was quite successful in New Zealand, and a magazine was made and published from 1984 to 1988 that was dedicated to the Sega SC-3000, and it was the world's most complete Sega SC-3000 dedicated magazine. In Australia, the SC-3000 was distributed by a very unlikely company, John Sands. For Aussies watching this, they will recognise John Sands as the iconic greeting cards company that has been operating in the country since, I think, 1830s. But in the 1980s, they decided to get into the very hot computer industry. They got on the bandwagon as such, and they distributed the Sega SC-3000 throughout Australia. So what's some stats about this machine? I've noticed there's no power supply, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to turn this on, which I was hoping to do for this video. But I must admit I had no idea what was in this box before I started this video. So I'll just have to give you a few stats about what this machine could do. So the SC-3000 had a total of 18 kilobytes of RAM, which was made up of 2 kilobytes of main RAM and 16 kilobytes of video RAM. It also had 32 kilobytes of ROM. The CPU was the NEC 780C-1, which was a clone of the Z80A. Central processing unit speed was 3.58 MHz. And its graphics screen, well, it could produce 256 pixels by 192 pixels. So why would you buy the Sega SC-3000 when in 1983 the Commodore 64, for example, was widely available and had 64 kilobytes of RAM, and this only had 2 kilobytes of main RAM? Well, the reason why is that the SC-3000 had no operating system at all, so if I was able to turn this on, nothing would happen. In fact, unless you plugged in the cartridge, the SC-3000 would not boot up. The cartridge here, for example, this is basic 3A, had built-in 16 kilobytes of RAM. So the cartridges for the SC-3000 dictated the amount of RAM that the computer had. If you had the basic 2 cartridge, it gave you no extra RAM, so you still had to rely on the 2 kilobytes of main RAM. While the basic level 3B had 32 kilobytes of RAM, which was the most you could get for the Sega SC-3000. Well, I'm disappointed I can't turn this on and check it out running. Or even if it does run, I have no idea. I'm just glad I was able to save a retro computer from the rubbish tip. I hope you found this video reasonably interesting, and if you did own a Sega SC-3000, let me know in the comments below what you found was good about it. I would love to know. because as I mentioned before today, I didn't even know this existed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.